So you've probably seen them all over the place, right? Huel Black Edition and the Protein Works vegan meal replacement. They both promise this super convenient, nutritious meal in a shake. But here's the thing, they're actually built for totally different jobs. So let's break it down and figure out which one is the right one for you.
All right, here are two contenders. In one corner, you've got Huel, the brand that's pretty much become synonymous with complete food. And in the other, the Protein Works, or TPW, which you can tell by the name, is really zeroed in on that diet and weight management angle. Now, you might think the choice is obvious, but trust me, the real story is buried in the nutritional details.
Because let's get one thing straight right now. There is no single best shake. It just doesn't exist. The real winner here, well, that depends completely on your personal goals. What are you actually trying to accomplish with your diet? Answering that is the key to this whole thing. Okay, so let's get to the most important part, what's actually in these things. To keep it fair, we're going to compare everything based on a standard 400-calorie meal. And what you're about to see is a tale of two very, very different approaches to nutrition. Right out of the gate, check out the protein. It's a huge difference. Huel Black Edition is packing a massive 40 grams of protein in that 400-calorie serving. TPW is no slouch, coming in with a very respectable 33.3 grams. But you know, if getting the absolute most protein possible is your main mission, Huel is already pulling ahead. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the carbs. It's a complete flip. TPW has more than double the carbohydrates of Huel. We're talking 53 grams against just 24. And that's not a typo. That's a deliberate design choice that tells you exactly what each shake is for. All right, let's pull back and look at the whole spec sheet. The differences just keep on coming. When it comes to fat, Huel has about 18 grams, while TPW is super lean at just under 6. But hey, if you're hunting for the absolute lowest sugar content you can find, TPW is the clear winner there, with less than a single gram. So what does this all add up to? Well, for Huel, the blueprint is crystal clear. 40% of its energy comes from protein, another 40% from healthy fats, and only 20% from carbs. This is your classic high-protein, low-carb formula, really built to keep you feeling full and support muscle. Now contrast that with TPW. It's a totally different story. Here, more than half the energy comes from carbs, 53% to be exact. Protein is at 33%, and fat is way, way down at just 13%. This is a textbook low-fat, higher-carb profile, and it's designed specifically with weight management in mind. Nutrition is one piece of the puzzle, but let's talk about something that's a huge deal for pretty much all of us, the price. So let's break down what you're actually paying per meal and see which one gives you more bang for your buck. Now, this is important. If you just look at the price tag per serving, TPW looks way cheaper, right? A quid and 7 pence versus Huel's £1.79. But, and this is a big but, that's totally misleading, because a standard TPW serving is only 240 calories. To get a real apples-to-apples comparison, we have to figure out the cost for a 400-calorie meal for both. And when you do that, the difference is 1 penny. Yep, that's it. A single penny. For a standardized 400-calorie meal, Huel is $1.79, and TPW comes in at $1.78. They are, for all intents and purposes, the exact same price. Honestly, this was a stunning result, and it completely changes how you have to think about value. And that brings us to maybe the most important question of all. If you're spending the same amount of money to get the same amount of energy, what are you really getting for that money? It forces you to stop looking at the cost and start looking at the quality of the calories. So think about it this way. For that same 179-ish, Huel gives you 40 grams of protein. For pretty much the exact same price, TPW gives you about 33. This means if protein is the main thing you care about, Huel is delivering way more of it for your money. It's the clear winner on protein value. So let's tie all this together. It's time to figure out which of these shakes you should hire to do a specific job for your health and fitness. This is going to be your clear, no-nonsense guide to making the right call for what you need. The best way to think about this is like you're a manager with two fantastic job candidates. They both have really different resumes and skill sets. You've got to look at the job description, which is your personal goal, to figure out who's the perfect hire. So you hire Huel if your number one top priority is protein intake, if you're actively trying to keep your carbs low, if you're trying to build or maintain muscle, or if you just want a meal that's going to keep you feeling full for a long time, Huel's profile is basically tailor-made for you. On the other hand, you hire TPW if your main mission is weight management, using smaller, lower-calorie meals to do it. If you need something that is practically sugar-free, or you just prefer getting your energy from a low-fat, higher-carb source, then TPW is the specialized tool for that exact job. And what that means is there's no universal winner here. Not at all. The best shake is simply the one that's designed for the job you need it to do. They're not better or worse than one another. They're just built with completely different end goals in mind. So ultimately, this whole thing comes back to you. We've laid out all the nutrition facts, we've broken down the true cost, and we've defined what each product is really good at. You have all the data now. So the only question left to answer is, what's your goal?